So here we are again, the World Championship qualifiers. And what's this? Got on YouTube? Yeah, this is what happens when WST give us a draw early enough so that I can actually record a video. Last year, by the time I posted my predictions, one of my picks is already out, so thank you for that. You can probably figure out what happens here. I've got a small script in front of me just with my predictions and a few little notes to go through. I will run you through the draw, run through my thoughts on sections, talk about all the runners and riders briefly, very briefly in some cases, and then tell you my predictions. Now, I'm not saying my predictions have a, shall we say, history, but my aim is to get one correct. Yeah, you're about right, one. Don't think I'm asking much. Is it too much to ask? Well, let's find out. I'm Phil, this is M18 Snooker, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and watch my other videos, because that'll tell the algorithmus for YouTube God that I'm worth something, and believe me, he doesn't like unpopular people. Let's go. Section 1. There's a lot of experience here. I did have a lot about how good Martin Gould is here, but sadly he's withdrawn. Of course, he's not been replaced because why would he be replaced? It's the World Championship. We don't need all the matches on. So Jimmy White gets a walkover. As for Jimmy, he only won 2 matches this season. It's a real disappointment considering his Indian summer last year. So let's talk about someone who has impressed. Liu Hongyu. He might just be another Chinese youngster that's come off that incredible production line. I swear he just drove in a vat or something. But he's been very impressive this season, highlighted by an incredible run to the semi-finals of the English Open, taking out Sean Murphy, Joe O'Connor, Chris Wakelin, Mark Williams, and Ding Junhui, before losing in the last 4 to Zhang Gander. And even there, he scored over 50 points in 3 of the first 4 frames, and still found himself 4-0 down. He's only won 1 match since the start of the year, though, the bloom coming off the rose slightly, and the Cauldron World qualifying could be too much for a raw 19-year-old in his first season on tour. Jack Lisowski being here feels like a major surprise, but really, it's less consistency of Jack and more consequence of his continued failure to actually win anything. As well as the fact he's been coming up short in the big money spinning events. He's had a semi-final at Northern Ireland Open, a quarter of the British Open, lost in the last 30 of the International Championship and the UK Championship to Anthony McGill and Jamie Jones respectively. And he didn't even qualify for a World Open, suffering a shock reverse to Lucas Kleckers. He's still very good though and starts off as an enormous favourite for this section. On the bottom half, Ryan Thompson's found life as a professional very tough. The Tomahawk, great nickname, has won 5 matches in 2 seasons. This season he's won 1 match. And even that was against Rhiannon Evans in the UK Championship. And even there he was 4-1 down for winning 5 in the next 6 frames to edge her out in a thriller. He then lost 6-1 to Ben Wollaston in the next round, having won the first frame, scoring 8 points in the last 4 frames. You heard that right, 8. His opponents are likely to swap in plays in the next season, being Liam Davis, 17-year-old Welsh wonder kid who will have a video on coming fairly soon for Hot Shots, being a pro from next season onwards, and I honestly don't see a world in which Liam doesn't start as favourite here. He's got all the momentum, and he's proven he's not scared of professional level. Jimmy Robertson's someone I thought would have kicked on more than he has by now. He almost fell off the tour years back, and after he survived, I thought he'd come roaring back. But the truth is, he sort of just hasn't. He's been in the last 16 twice this season, losing to sides to Nopon Sandkamp the European Masters, and then Elliot Sless at the Shootout. But he's also in poor form. The Shootout in early December was the last time he got past the last 64 on events, which for those of you less educated in the tour and how rounds work, is round 2 in most events, or first round after the qualifiers. As for Matthew Stevens, he reached last 32 at the World Open recently. It is his first last 32 since the British Open in late September. He's had a habit this season of having great results and performances, and he's following them up with absolutely brutal draws or really bad performances. Matthew still has being a winner in him. I believe in him. He just needs to put together some good performances in a row. So this is my prediction for the Section 1 final. Jack Lisowski versus Jimmy Robertson. I'm watching Matthew in third qualifying round. So that basically guarantees he's going to lose, doesn't it? And while Jimmy's a very good player, I don't see him beating Lisowski. I don't think Jack has a huge issues getting to this stage, keeping him fresh. And depending on who he draws at Sheffield, he could be dangerous. He could also draw Judd and lose 10-1, or draw McGill and get dismantled again. I've a suspicious draws from last year anything to go by. Drawing Judd's more likely than you'd expect. The only reason he didn't last year is because they were both seeded. Section 2. We don't have a huge amount of form here, but we do have a lot of experienced players. Although this section looks familiar, that's because of these 8 players, half of them were in the same bracket as each other last season. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Mark Joyce has got used to fighting for his life on tour at this point. I think this is the third time in 4 years he's been middle survival battle. Would you believe it? He's there again. This time he's 67th on the end of season rankings. £9,500 off the top 64. With 10,000 for winning his first match, that means theoretically he could survive with just one win in the World Qualifiers, albeit he'd need the 3 players above him to all lose their first match, along with a few other things to go right. Mainly players behind him not having a deeper run. He's actually not got a bad record in World Qualifying either. The last time he lost his first match in World Qualifying was back in 2018. He'll face either Ian Burns, who he's beaten 5 times out of 5 so far in their careers, or Dean Young, who he's never faced. Young has never quite convinced me as a professional despite his loss of effort and attacking ambition. I don't think he'd be an issue for Joyce. But Burns on good days very solid. He proved that at the UK qualifiers. Ricky Walden's been very good this season. But being Ricky, it's not been noticed. Ricky never gets noticed. He's just there. He always does fine. But no one ever talks about him. Quarterfinal Northern Ireland Open, 3 lost 16s, including the English Open, where he looked set to lose in the last 32, 4-0 to Graham Dott, only to get a snooker on the pink and go on to win that frame and the 3 other frames after that. I mean it when I say Dott's really struggling now. He's been to the Crucible 9 times for Walden and was semi-finalist 11 years ago, losing to Barry Hawkins. He has a rocky record in World Qualifying though, and lost his first qualifying match in 2019 to Eden Sharaf of Israel and 2022 to Alan Taylor of England, respectively. I'd expect he'd be far too strong for in this half of the bracket though. I don't see Joyce causing any huge issues for him, and he'll probably breeze past the other 2. Mark Davis has qualified for the Crucible 12 times and turns to Cena his greatest heartbreak 12 months ago. That's right, I said heartbreak. As his close personal friend Joe Perry relegates him from the tour in a very emotional ending. Only for all that's been negated 2 days later, when tour survival extended from 64 players to 68, as a result of players still being banned due to a Chinese match-fixing scandal. And also, presumably, they wanted to stop people asking for a wild card for Davis, because Barry Hearn's not been mates with him for 40 years. Yes, I said it. He knows how to get the job done still, though. And he has a simple looking draw against either Andy Lee or Andrew Paget, who are 5 runs between them this season. Lee's not won a match this season outside of UK Championship qualifiers. He still didn't qualify for that, by the way. And Paget didn't win a match this season until just before Christmas. And outside of German Masters qualifiers, has won once. That's Tepchai. What do you want me to say? He's Tepchai. Everything's a cliche. He's very fast. Not as fast as he used to be, but that might be because he's starting to creep towards 40. Yes, I did say 40. He's a lot older than he looks. He's inconsistent to the nth degree. The single most inconsistent player to have ever existed. He's a huge underachiever with his talent. He's far too good to drop off the tour, but he isn't consistent enough to achieve anything hugely notable. His season has been fine. Couple last 16s, 40th on the 1 year list. It's been very Tepchai, is what I'm trying to say. Section 2 final, Vicky Walden versus Tepchai. If this match looks familiar, that's because we had an absolute barnstorm with a match at Judgment Day last year. And I should know because I was watching the table next to them. Look, Jack Jones, Barry Hawkins was still a fantastic match, wasn't it? That match had 9 breaks over 80, the Tepchai Walden match. That is not the one I was watching. They then had a barnstorming match at the UK Qualifiers Judgment Day this year. Apparently now everything's called Judgment Day. Upon the actual Judgment Day, we'll probably want to get a warning about that. I see no reason this match will be any different. This is going to be another great match. It's Walden and Tepchai. They love to score heavily. If you're putting a bet on an amount of centuries in this match, go big with this. One thing to know, though, Tepchai beat Ricky at the UK qualifiers. It's the first time he's beaten Walden in 7 attempts. It's still for what match to watch live coverage of on Judgment Day on Discovery Plus. Free plug. You should really consider this one to be like good break building. Section 3. This one the easiest section to predict, probably. David Grace has a weirdly good record in world qualifying. He's lost his opening match once since 2015. He qualified for a Crucible last year, only to get Higginsed. He got to Judgment Day the year before being blown away by Jackson Page, who was potting balls from quite literally everywhere. He probably thought he's Joe Trump. He's a defendable player who should be considered a decent threat. He faced Malaysia's Rory 4, who has returned to professional ranks looking much more ready this time after unsuccessful stints in the mid to late 2010s. Or Pakistan's Hamza Ilyas, who's reached the semi-finals of WSF Junior Championship and the IBSF World Under-21 Championship in the past year and should not be discounted as a threat, but this is a massive step up for him. Johnny Dale's had a real resurgence this season. The 52-year-old Welshman, I'm not making the joke again, watch Hot Shots if you want that. He's had a resurgence with quarterfinals at the Shootout for second year in spin and the Welsh Open for the first time in 2 decades, putting 29th on the 1 year list, earning £69,000. I'm not making that joke either, I'm not 5 years old. He reached Judgment Day 2 years ago, albeit he got a bye through third qualifying round because Liang Wenbo suspended for beating up his girlfriend. Just another reason to hate him. But aside from that, he's not been beyond the last 80 of the Worlds since 2017 and hasn't qualified for a Crucible since 2014 when he was a frame away from the semi-finals against Barry Hawkins. He's going to reach its heady heights again. This is probably the time, though. He's got the form. He's got the momentum, and he's got a reasonably kind section. On the other side, he has arrived. He Qiang, that is, 23-year-old from Leiyang in China. He's had a fantastic first season as a professional and has put himself in with a good chance of finishing his first season inside the top 64. Even though he has an entire other season to do that, I don't know if they forgot to translate rules to Chinese or he's just getting prepared, but we're going. I don't see him having any issues with the glove from above, Ross Muir, or WSF champion and professional from next season, Chung Ko-ai of Hong Kong. And I think you could give the Guillotine Anthony McGill a good match. Why does everyone have such aggressive nicknames, by the way? He, Glove from Above, Guillotine. What is wrong with people? Why is no one called the Pussycat or the Softie? Or actually, I'm not saying that one now. Section 3 final. David Grace versus Anthony McGill. Look, you can take whoever you want in the top half of brackets. I don't really care. I'm not picking them. Anthony McGill's 9th seed in the qualifiers and is very, very reliable at this level over this distance. He's a frame away from the second World semi-final last season before losing to CJ Wee. If you want to know how good he is over long formats, just ask Jack Lisowski after Ant took him apart in their first session last year. David is better, his ranking of 57 suggests, but I don't see him beating Anthony McGill over 2 sessions. Section 4, also known as the how crosses everyone, but Neil Robertson's in the damn qualifiers section. Don't worry, we'll get to him later. But first, I want to talk about Bex Kenner. Mainly because during mixed doubles, I saw a lot of quite cruel comments on social media about her. Especially after she didn't take Stephen Hendry's criticism how people wanted to. Firstly, her response was sarcasm directed at someone she considers an idol. Secondly, he might have 7 world titles. That does not make Stephen Hendry the fountain of all knowledge. He isn't always right. No one's always right apart from my mum. I have to say that. Bex was not only the best female player in the event, she is arguably better overall than a certain someone in this section who I'm going to get to. She'll face off Alfie Burden, who beat a temporary at this stage last season. Yes, we've got a rematch. Albeit it should have been closer than that. 3 of the 10 frames she lost were decided by 11 points or less. I think this time around it will be significantly closer. She's gained more experience and more confidence in herself. Bex, if you're watching this by any chance, firstly, hello. And secondly, play your own natural game. Just go out swinging. If you lose 10-0, at least you gave it a good go. Zusiu's been okay. This team continues upward momentum in the rankings after last season. He's a frame away from the quarters at German Masters, but despite being ahead 3 times in best of 9, he just couldn't put Sam Craigie away, going down 5-4. He's also covered the last 30 series, but it's been a pretty anonymous season for him. I'll cover this half top seed Jamie Jones at the same time, because his team's been very similar. Just swapped the German Masters out for a 6-0 loss to Judge Trump at the UK Championships. But Jamie's very, very experienced. And he knows a thing or two about navigating world qualifying. On the other side of the section, I'm a big fan of Ishpreet Singh. The Indian's been very impressive in his first season professional. Only reaching 2 last 32s, but winning his first match in 6 of his 11 events, earning £26,000 and putting in some very good performances, including a match he was unlucky to lose early in the season to Luca Pichel. I've not noted down in my notes what event that was from, but you can find that match, check it out because he played some really good stuff there. He'll face off with Gao Yang in a rematch from the UK Championship, while China Downs pulled off a somewhat surprising 6-3 victory. Two very talented players. If by any chance one was stream tables on Discovery Plus, it's a match to maybe check out. I think it'll be very fun to watch. Zach Shorty's had the season of his life. 16 wins, club last 32s, a last 16 of German Masters, including a career high break for 136 against Alex Erzenbacher in the qualifiers. And just when he thought it couldn't get any better, when he's a frame from defeat in the World Open qualifiers, he randomly makes a 147, having never made a break above 136, and having only made that a few weeks before. I think you'll get through the first match, but in this area, that's tantamount to walking into the Lion's Den. Because for the first time since 2006, Neil Robertson has to qualify for a World Championship. His form's picked up significantly in the second half of the season after a break back in Australia to visit family for the first time in several years because of COVID and other reasons related to his family, I imagine. But this came a little bit too late, and a loss in World Open semis to Ding Junhui in an incredible back and forth match sealed his fate. He's still Neil Robertson though, and he might just turn up and destroy everyone. He's only the 8th seed for the qualifiers, but make no mistake, he is the big fish here. Section 4, final prediction, Jamie Jones versus Neil Robertson. If, and this is a big if, Neil turns up and plays poorly like he did in mixed doubles, or how much of that was a tie to normal pockets, I don't know. Those pockets look like they're playing pretty brutally, but Neil seemed to like them. Then Jamie could well win this. He's not going to be intimidated facing Neil, despite having won 9 frames of their 7 previous meetings, all losses. He's not likely to roll over for him. But Neil's previously said he wouldn't mind going through the qualifiers. Expecting to be an absolutely terrifying draw for all seeds. I want him to draw another big boys. That'll be a blockbuster. How about a rematch from round 11 against Judd? Roles reversed this time. Section 5. This section don't have a lot to talk about. But Lissu Rivers, I'm sorry if I pronounced his name badly, is a huge talent who looked good in the UK Championship qualifiers and defeats Harman Mir, and went on to win the USF Juniors Championship, making a 1-3-0 break and a 5-3 win over Gong Chenzi to secure his place as first ever Hungarian professional on tour. He's hugely talented, and I fancy him to give Sean O'Sullivan a run for his money. The Storm made a 147 in the European Masters qualifiers. Might be featured in my end of season awards because it's the single most ridiculous break I've ever seen, but spent most of the first half of the season being battered. You want to know how badly he's battered? It's the first 6 matches of the season, the Storm suffered 5 losses to 0. That's right, 5 of his first 6 matches, he didn't even win a frame. And they spent most of the second half of the season losing. Not as badly, though. He did randomly beat Zhao Guodong at the World Open. No, I can't believe that either. Sorry, Sean. We've also got James Cahill, but I don't think he's a major threat to qualify either. He's not been beyond the last 64 event this season. I thought better things were coming for him when he beat Matt Seltz in the Championship League to reach the second stage. And to be fair, he did recover from Tepchaya making 2 tons in the first 2 frames against him. Savage 2-all draw, lost 3-1 to Sean Murphy, and got slaughtered by Dave Gilbert, scoring 9 points in 3 frames. But it's been a very long dry spell since, with him winning 3 matches since the 8th of September, which, as I record this, is a day away from being 3 wins in 7 months. I feel like he held another one of those players. See also John Astley, Craig Steadman, Samson Lamphor this season, Peter Lyons, who is far too good to be an amateur, but isn't really of a professional standard. It's not like he's never been anywhere near the top 64. He's ranked 66th briefly in July, but seems currently unable to take that next step and level up. So we come now to Joey Long, who, if you've not worked out yet, is who I'm backing for the top half of this section. Section 5, seeded at 5. Now, you just have a cursory look at his results this season. You think it's been incredible. He's had a semi final, a cool quarters, and a bunch of last 16s. Plus, he's had the 11 most centuries this season, 34. He'll probably be in top 10 by the end of the qualifiers, as the players above him in that list, only Neil Robertson in 10th is in qualifiers. However, you take a slightly deeper look and you realise something about his results, his best results. They're all in first half of the season. And there's a very good reason for that. His entire world came crashing down one day in Edinburgh. For Scottish Open semi-finals, he was heading through to the final. And seeing his 5-3 lead East knocked to 5 each, a 69 break had him over the line with Cider, and he is celebrating game, set, and match. Well, unless you ask Gary Wilson, that is. What happened next was stuff of absolute snooker fantasy. Gary the Dinosaur, as I affectionately call him, fought back from needing 3 snookers on the colours, and then beat Joe on a respotted black. Seriously, your sport have the end of the last frame up on YouTube. Once you're done listening to this, go and watch that. See a celebration, and then hear the commentators realising this isn't over yet. It's absolutely masterful drama. Since then, he's reached last 32 of German Masters and beat Steve Maguire in World Grand Prix, but he's not done much aside from that. Still a dead cert for this half, though. On bottom, Jane Clark came 5-1 down to beat Karen Wilson UK Championship, but losing 6-4 in the last 16 to a very good Mark Williams. That's the one real highlight I've seen for Leanne Effley Potter. I'm so sorry to everyone from Wales for that pronunciation. I want to learn your language. I'm just not brave enough. As Owen Rasser's last 32 German Masters and a bunch of last 64s, 6 in total, Jack Jones had a slightly better season, not by much though. Last 16 Welsh Open, with Dominic Dale, and winning all 6 group matches in Championship League. Yes, 6. Ronnie did decide he had enough after day 1, but Jack Jones had already beaten him 3-0 before then, before losing his group final to Joe O'Connor, who would eventually reach the final. It's not lived up to the hype of his crucial quarterfinal last year, but it's been a perfectly solid season. As for yours two in the group, Andrew Petrov, lovely guy, but he's rarely shone on tour. And Ahmad Ali's won 10 frames in 14 matches and is still being scraped off the table after Ben Mertens battered him early in the season. Not physically. My Ben would never do that. He's too nice. Oh, he probably could. He's enormous. Section 5 final. Joey Long versus Jamie Clark. Choosing between Jack and Jamie is very difficult because I feel like we're at similar points in their careers. Both are very good players from Wales, with years ahead of them, who are just trying to make the next big step up from being a good player to being a top 32 regular. As for this one, I'm backing Joe. I think he's too heavy a score for Jamie, and Joe's usually very reliable against players who are around or a bit below his ranking. It's only when he gets to the big boys as he starts to flounder a bit. When not killing every frame off in one visit is tantamount to suicide. Jamie's solid, but solid sometimes only gets you so far. Section 6. We're a third of way there. and this is one of the most competitive sections of all, but at least 4 points you can make a very reasonable argument for. Start off with Rashid, who I'm very surprised to see in a survival battle. It felt like he's established himself as a regular fixture on tour, getting some notable results, but he's only got 8 wins this season, earning £15,750, finding himself on the wrong side of the drop zone, albeit he's just in striking range on the end of season rankings. And on the 1 year list cards, he's very much in the mix still. He shouldn't have too bad a starter either, with either a talented but extremely raw Mink Nutshot, who was impressed without picking up results this season, or Adam Duffy, who's had the occasional excellent win, but in several attempts has never really established himself as a true professional quality player. Then we come to Stevie Maguire, who seems to pick up cool excellent results every time you think he's passed it or over a hill, giving you just enough hope for him before he then fades back into obscurity for a while. 2 quarters of the season for Qualifier's 12th seed, losing to size in both, 4-3 to Judge Trump at Northern Ireland Open, 6-5 to Jordan Brown the International Championship, 20th on the 1 year list. It's been a good season, or should I say, the first half of the season. Since the UK Championship in November, he's won 4 matches. I still think he's favourite here, but he will get a good run for his money in the UK qualifiers, so don't take anything for granted just yet. On the bottom, I'm going to break the habit of a lifetime. You'll be shocked here. I'm going to talk about Michael White. Of course, if you know me, you know this is sarcasm, because I usually don't shut up about him or Matthew, or Ben, or Julian, or anything else. After a fantastic return to professional ranks last season fizzled out towards the end, this season has been absolutely mediocre. He dominated his first Championship League group, including beating Ryan Day. He was afraid away from the last 16 of the European Masters. I think everyone expected a bit more after that. Instead, the shootout was only other deep run, reaching the last 16 before being edged out by Ali Carter, who played an absolute blinder to beat him. He's been in lots of close matches this season. In total, excluding the shootout, because you can't have a decider if it's a one-frame match, or at least I don't think it counts. He's had 10 matches, but have gone all the way to a decider this season, winning 3. This includes the UK Championship, where he beat Mink Nutshot 6-5, having been 5-2 down. Then beat World semi-finalist CJRW 6-5. And then finally losing to Fan Zheng Yi, say it with me, 6-2. I'm kidding, it was 6-5. As long as you keep your shows, make sure you're paying attention. I'll mention the tour survival battle because Michael's sort of on the fringes of it. He's 9,500 above the cut-off, but more important fact is he's 58th on the end of season rankings, meaning he needs 7 players below him to win multiple matches if he loses his first. Talking of, he'll be facing Andrew Higginson, who was an amateur with a match from Crucible last season, but hasn't really impressed much since. Or Dwayne Jones, his fellow 30-something Welshman, who's recently gained his tour card through Q-Tour playoffs. Michael knows how to navigate gauntlets. He's done it 3 times before, came through every round a couple years ago. The less said about how he did against Mark Williams at Crucible, the better. It's far from possible he does it again. Just don't mention how he did against Darren Hill last season. Or the fact he's actually got one of the hardest second qualifying round draws. Either way, Andrew and Dwayne can both really play when they're up to it. And now someone's had a big comeback this season, Yuan Sejong. He is next big thing a few years ago. Well, his career went a bit pear-shaped, not helped by the fact that he didn't pick up a cue for 6 months due to something I've never heard of called COVID-19. No, that's a thing, I imagine. He made solid progress after coming back through Q school, though. Ended last season 50th before truly rediscovering his game this term. No second ranking semi for him yet, but quarter of the Northern Ireland Open, but he lost 16, seeing him at career high ranking 37. He's really found something again, and unlike most players talked about so far, have had a good season. It started well and it's continued well. There's been no big lulls in there. Section 6 final, Steve Maguire versus Jan John. Both halves of this could go either way. I don't think Duffy or Mink will trouble the top half too much. But the bottom half, you can make a decent argument for every single player reaching it. This is an interesting match because Maguire faced Van Zengi at Judgment Day last season. Van is around 8 months younger than Yuan. They both turned professional in the same year. In fact, Yuan beat Van in the Asian Under-21 Championship 2017 to gain his pro card. Maguire lost to Van in a great match last year. And you know what? I think history might be about to repeat itself. A regretful rewind for Maguire, a victorious revisitation for Yuan. Section 7. The top half of this bracket is just the northern-ish quarter, or half of this case, maybe. I just wanted to make a northern quarter stroke from Manchester. Oil lies right in the middle of survival battle. 66th from the US rankings, but 37,000 earned this season means he's currently holding the first of the tour cards from 1 year list. This could easily change as he's less than 1 win away from moving into the top 64 on one list and less than 1 win away from losing his tour card on the other list. So win here is like gold dust swim. 2 last 16s for him this season, being edged out by Mark Allen at shootout and losing brutally to John Higgins at the English Open. First up for him is either Louis Heathcote from Leicester, who lost to Andrew Higgins in qualifiers last year, despite making 4 centuries, or Oliver Sykes, the easily team who won 4 out of 5 junior tour events this season. 2 players with huge futures here. However, lad, Elliot Slessor's the top seed in this half, and I've just offended every single person for Newcastle. I apologise again. He's slowly but surely turning into a consistently big threat, Elliot. The Gateshead Grinder, great nickname by the way, reached first quarterfinal for over 2 years at Shootout, and third ranking semi at the Welsh Open, losing out in a shock defeat to American defence Martin O'Donnell. I'm a big fan of Elliot's. He's absolutely hilarious on Twitter. Yes, I still call it that, Elon. I'm really pleased he's making progress, even if he's now quite satisfied himself. In the bottom half of the section, we need to talk about Liam Highfield. There's never been a better example of a player with misleading ranking. He's 80th on the US rankings. But the truth is, he's much better than 80th. Everyone knows he's much better than 80th. But he just now got going for him. As Noel Gallagher's lost identical twin, who is also called Liam, funnily enough, broke his wrist in an e-scooter accident in pre-season, and he now seems to have fully recovered, despite the odd great results. His only hope is surviving on tour to qualify for a cruise, which he has done before, but it's hard to envisage how he's done this season. Stuart Carrington or Himanshu Jain first. Carrington still looks a shadow of the player he was a few years back. Qualified back through Q school and someone but hasn't done a great deal. And Himanshu Jain's never looked anywhere close to the quality needed and has mustered a total of 0 wins this season. Then we come to another player who's nowhere near where they were and isn't in fantastic form. Stuart Bingham, 13th seed. He had an alright first half of the season, leading quarter at Scottish Open, consistently winning matches elsewhere. But the second half of the season has gone absolutely belly up for him. It's been an absolute disaster. He's failed to qualify for any event since turn of the year. His only highlight being a semi-finalist at the Invitational Championship League, losing 3-0 to Mark Selby. The bottom half is not a selection of form, it's very, very slim pickings. Section 7 final, Elliot Slesser versus Liam Highfield. Well, it's not like anyone else is in form. So Liam is the only player who realistically has anything to fight for apart from reaching Crucible, which everyone apart from the utterly hopeless Jane has done before. Well, I think Liam will fall one match short of survival. I just don't see a world in which Celeste does not make it through here. He's become much stronger mentally as a player over the past couple of years and did a pretty effective job taking Joey Long apart at Judgment Day last season. If you want to go to Easter egg, though, how about this? Liam and Elliot have met twice before, as you've been able to see. Well, that doesn't tell you. Both of those meetings were in World Championship in the last 80. Both went to the Siders. Section 8. In the top half, I don't think there's an enormous amount to discuss regarding form. Andy Hamilton's still around at 56 from the US. He's just high enough to be realistically safe in survival battle, but too low to be pushing anywhere close to the top 32. He's had 3 lost 32s, including shootout this season. Bit odd for someone who's got one of the slowest average shot times on the tour, and on a bad day, is about 90% blind, but he's crafty. His first opponent is Alex Erzenbacher, who's never really come from a terrible start where he won one match before the middle of November. Or Ukrainian Yulian Boyko, who, despite having been around forever, is still only 18. So I think Hamilton is liable to win or lose every single match, depending on how his eyesight is. He's had so many issues in recent years, but they seem to affect him variably. Robbie Williams, someone I tipped to have a really big season, but he struggled when coming against big names. Hence, Rockaway quarterfinals. He's a very solid player, though, and is rightly favoured in this half. In your half, Lucas Clark is slowly looking more and more like a solid professional. After a few years of hard struggle as a lowly professional, he has some solid wins this season, beating Ryan Day at the UK Championship, coming 3-0 down against Mark Joyce to win 4-3 at the English Open. He's not anywhere close on the US rankings, but he's not too far away on the 1 year list. He would take on Alan Taylor, who is more than capable of big results about once a season, or Vladislav Gradinari, the 15-year-old European under-16 champion, becoming the first ever Moldovan to compete at Worlds, and already looks like a big prospect for the future. Slight side note here, if you're wondering why I didn't mention Bulasov as the first Hungarian to ever compete at Worlds, that's because he competed at Worlds last year. Finally comes Chris Wakelin, who feels like he's waiting to break out. Final Northern Open, quarter and Scottish Open his highlights this season. He's ranked his career high ranking of 21, making him the 4th seed for qualifiers. He's going to take some stopping here, but you know, Chris is known for his inconsistency here and there, and you never know what's quite going to happen. Section 8 final, Robbie Williams versus Chris Wakelin. I know I just hyped up Chris's inconsistency, but I've got to have a little bit of drama in there. It's one of those matches that won't catch anyone's eye, but you're going to like this one if you just like 2 good snooker players playing good snooker. No frills, no necessary frills or style, just solid match play snooker from 2 men who should be challenging for honours a lot more than they do. As for results, I'm going Wakelin. I feel like he's a far stronger player on form at the moment. And he's not going to be a particularly nice draw for anyone who's out of form or is a lower seed. He's gaining experience all the time as a top guy. Section 9. This could be a fun section to talk about. What is full ambition here? I'll start off not in the second qualifying round, because how Ken Doxey's high ranked enough for that is beyond me. But first qualifying round, I think Marco Fu has a much better chance than Kendo does at this point in their careers. Ken Doxey fans, I offer no apologies. He's not been beyond the last 48 events in more than 2 years. Angry? Go on. Comment away with one good reason why I should expect Ken to get through to a crucible. Go on. You can pause the video, orchestrate a beautiful response full of swear words, unleashing all your rage. Done? Good. You're wrong. Moving on. Marco Rudolph was with a revival this season after several years in wilderness as a result of eyesight issues. Yes, more eyesight issues. I promise it's not going to come up again. Reaching last 16 of the Welsh Open, the first he's got in ranking ranked since January 2020. Imagine telling someone who saw Marco narrowly lose a World semi-final to Mark Selby in 2016, but within 4 years, he began a 4-year drought of not reaching the last 32 of an event. Absolute madness. Anyway, he'll start against Bypass Sripaporn, now former women's world champion who's talented but severely lacks experience. I don't think she'll beat Marco through, but in terms of having a learning experience in qualifiers, I can't think of a better draw for her. Third seed for qualifiers, Hussein Rafai, the Prince of Persia. He's a very interesting case, isn't he? He's undeniably hugely talented. With his natural game, he should be challenging for winning events all the time, not just competing to sometimes reach the quarters. He just doesn't have consistency nor the temperament to make the most of his potential, which is frustrating. He's been on the edge of truly establishing himself as a top force for a few years, but he's wasting what could be his best years by just being settled around the top 16, dipping out throughout the season, happy to be there. Huge series at British Open, but couldn't overhaul a very impressive informed Mark Williams. Did the same UK Championship, but put in an inconsistent showing to lose 6-2. In a very winnable match against Ronnie O'Sullivan, didn't play that well. I still can't see him not making Judgment Day, though. The draw has been exceptionally kind to him. On the bottom half, Franzin Gees mentioned earlier, but what about last year's qualifier who had a special moment on debut, interrupted by a bunch of orange paint wielding psychopaths? Honestly, I'm starting to buy into him a hot prospect. I've been critical of that label in the past, but he's convincing me. He beat Guy Wilson and Mark Allen to reach last stage of the Invitational Shanghai Masters, because presumably we didn't have enough invitational events before, before losing 6-1 to Neil Robertson. He also reached the last stage of the German Masters, going down to Kyron Wilson, who has a really good record in Germany for some reason. We'll start against Yu Jiang Jun, who's shown a lot of promise but has not won a match in 2024, or Amir Sarkosh, who's qualified through Q-Tour playoffs for a tour, swing pro for the first time after years and years of near misses. I'd expect him to beat either of some level of comfort. Sam Craig is another player who's just been waiting for us to take the next step. It's not happened for him yet, although he has taken a huge leap this season, reaching a ranking semi-final for the first time, losing 6-2 to a rampant Judd monster after a gallant effort. The funny thing is, he's actually saved a very, very mediocre season. He's only taken beyond the last 32 of any event. Anyone knows my opinions knows that I think Sam is a tremendous player. He's got all the attributes to be a top part of the game. His attitude seeing snooker as a job instead of just a passion gives him a big advantage, in my view, as regards being objective about what works and what doesn't for him. But I'll discuss that more some other time. Maybe a topic for future Table Talk. Section 9 final, the same 5 versus Sam Craigie. I didn't have to do a lot of thinking here. Unless Sam won performs against Fan, this is what we're getting, I think. And this is absolutely be the match I want to watch on Judgment Day. 2 fabulous players, 2 incredible talents, 2 players I like. I can only gush about them both so much. Plus, been to the Crucible twice in a row and beat Ding Junhui, remember last year, before having a fit of madness against Ronnie O'Sullivan. But sometimes Snooki just need a bit of a nasty streak. I don't think you're saying hazmat. Not to mention Retta World Best 11 221. Sam won that 6-0. Smiley Samuel for me. Section 10. Still picking survival battle because Section 10 contains one of my big, beautiful Belgian boys, Julian Leclerc, who's been in and out of the top 64 this season. He's 65th in the US at the moment and holds lots of precious 1-year cards. Last 16 at German Masters was Belgian Beast best this season, with high quality match 5-2 to Ryan Day. What's really powered the powerhouse on this season is his good record in opening matches. Because don't forget, if you lose your first match in event, you don't get any money. Nada. Zip. Nil. Whatever zero is in Belgium. Julian has 7 wins from 11 last 1 to 8 of events, meaning more often than not, he's at least been earning some money from events. 1 win should see him safe one way or another. But because he hammered Mia and the promising Hayden Pinney very late placement Stephen Hendry, we'll be hoping to stop him doing so. Very good play, Julian. I like how he plays. I hope he stays on. Then we come to Joe O'Connor, another player who I feel like is waiting to break out. He took to pro outs like a duck to water in 2018, has made solid progress since, reaching first ranking final last season after a thrilling Scots Open semi-final against Neil Robertson. I was expecting something big from this season, but we've had 4 last 32s. Knows winning the UK Championship, losing to John Higgins, who seems to have become his unofficial rival considering how often he seems to face off. Therefore, his season has been a total disappointment and waste of time, is what I would say. Upon the fact he randomly reached the final Championship League Invitational, coming through Group 7, beating Priso and beating Jack Jones in the Group Final, and then sneaking by back door in the final group, beating Stuart Bingham in his last group match, and then having John Higgins beat Neil Robertson to send him through. He then thanked John very nicely by beating him 3-0 in the semi-finals, before losing 3-1 to Mark Selby, fellow Leicester man, who responded by gushing about him afterwards. Very sweet. Joe's likely going to be tipped by many to come through here. He seeded 14 for qualifiers and a big favourite for this half of the bracket. In the other half, Aaron Hill's been fantastic this season. The Breeze, I can't do it in an Irish accent. I've already offended enough people, thank you. Has broken out of the first ranking quarterfinal in Wuhan back in October and reached last 16 at his almost home event for Northern Ireland Open. Seriously, when are we getting a ranking event at Goffs? It's not like 90% of snooker Twitter's been asking for it for years. And when I say asking, of course, I mean very loudly demanding. He also has some precedents for World Qualifiers. 12 months ago, he came from absolutely nowhere to beat Michael White 10-3, only to then get steamrolled 10-2 by Chris Wakelin. Very good player, Aaron. Very confident. He's had some very good wins this season, including against Mark Selby. He's put himself right in the mix for going tour survival. He's 60th on the US rankings, advantage of 19,000 to 5th ranked player for 1-year list cards. Mind at the top 4 players from this season who have not already qualified next season's tour get a tour card themselves. His first opponent will be Daniel Womersley. The amateur from Leeds, because apparently everyone from the UK who plays snooker is from Leeds, Leicester, or somewhere near Newcastle. He reached the final of Q Tour 5, losing 5-1 to Michael Holt, and was saved finalist in the WST Championships, coming 3-0 down to beat Latvia's Rodion Judins 4-3, before losing by the same scoreline to Gao Yang. Daniel's experience has a bit of pedigree. I could easily have seen him beating Mohamed Asif, but as I was completing the script, I logged into Twitter and found out that Mohamed Asif has withdrawn. But being WST, it'll be far too easy to bring him next top up. who will be Wales' Alfie Davis. So instead, Daniel just gets a walkover. Good job, everyone. Then we come to a big fish, Matthew Selt, who surprisingly is not the top seed in this section. He's somewhat flustered to see in recent times. Matt's the master of talking a big game. He has bags of confidence. He'll slaughter low-ranked players all day and twice on Sundays, but his record against the big boys is pretty atrocious. He looked great in reaching quarter at the English Open this season, but then put in a very, very average performance against Trump, losing 5-1 where Judd was there for a taking. He is consistent though. He's reached loss 32 no less than 8 times this season. So he knows how to win matches, just not against top players. Section 10 final, Joe O'Connor versus Matt Selt. I'd love nothing more than for Joe to win here. Great player to watch. I love his somewhat laid-back, laissez-faire attitude. I love the way he smacks the cue ball around the table like it's owed him money. He never looks even slightly flustered. But I'm not backing against Matt Selt. He's a very good player of this distance because he doesn't panic if he dips behind. He has the experience of being in this situation. Until he encounters a player's stature, he's a very dangerous opponent. Joe won't make it easy though. Section 11. Section 11 was starting with Martin O'Donnell, who, despite being on 30 years tour card, is ranked way up at 59 in the world. Why is this? First career ranking final Welsh Open, that's how. For Minister of Defence, who is far more attacking and interesting than his name suggests, seems to be behind constantly run to that final. Oh, he's a frame of defeat in the last 1-2-8 against Ryan Thomason. 3-2 down for winning 4-3. Also reached the quarters at the English Open, losing 5-1 to John Higgins. Very good player, MOD. I'm expecting to breeze past Mahai Long, who reached last 16 at Bristol Open early in the season to get everyone interested in, as won 3 matches since. Or Victor Sarkis, who hasn't won a match on his tour card outside of shootout, and seems to exist primarily to make sure Matthew Stevens is getting enough wins to not be anywhere near survival battle. Sarkis has played 8 frames against Matthew this season and has mustered 81 points. Very, very smiley boy though, Victor. You can sense how happy he is to be there. Fully respect it. This half-top former is Kelly Peng, who it feels like should be higher than 38th in the world. He reached shootout final this season for losing to Mark Allen. I'm not covering their history here, but that's a video of most needless snooker rivalries. And reached World Grand Prix semis, and went where he trailed in every match aside from the last 16, but he whitewashed Sean Murphy instead just for a change of scenery. Cal's a steady performer, if not spectacular. He's good, but he's very, very beatable. On bottom half, I like Dylan Emery. He's in middle survival battle, 69 on the US rankings, 10,000 off 64th. That could be very relevant because don't forget, win Q2 is worth 10,000. And in tiebreak situations, comeback is calculated starting the most recent event. So that could be extremely relevant come the end of the season. He does hold one of the 4 1-year list cards right now, though. Has reached 5 lost 32s this season. Very impressive player, Dylan. I'd like him to survive on top because I think he needs only one more season to really establish himself in the top 64. He should at least win one match, coming against mixed doubles champion Rhian Evans, who does not lack ability or talent, but lacks self-belief, I feel. Or Oliver Brown, who's reached last 64 6 times this season. He hasn't won any of them, but he's certainly been there. Then we come to the top seed for section, Pang Jung-Zhu, 7th seed for qualifiers. Shockingly high. He had a fine season. Not brilliant, not terrible, just fine. 6 out of 10, average. He's reached one last 16, losing 6-2 to England with the International Championship. 5 other last 32 season ranks a career high 24. Pang's a solid all rounder, a bit like Harry Peng. Kind of played bank runs to get solid results all season long, but he's not a standout in any department. Section 11 final, Martin O'Donnell versus Dylan Emery. I honestly think Dylan's got a solid shot at beating Pang, and Emery's got a very good shot at beating Cow. Pang is a good player. He's good in all departments. I think you can argue he's a good 6 to 7 out of 10 in every department. But he doesn't strike me as being a particularly scary player to face. And when he plays well, Dylan Emery's quite the scorer. I'm bumping with Martin here, though. I'm a little bit surprised he's not qualified for Crucible 4 now. He's been good enough for a good few years at this point. Section 12. Does anyone else remember the good old days when Graham Dot would have been primary threat here? I do. Boy, those were the days. Lee Dotty feels like his career's fading out slightly at this point. He's just about out of reaching survival battle. 37th from the end of season rankings, 500 quid above Michael White. But there's plenty of players between here and there. But if form doesn't improve, he's liable to be in some trouble next season if he doesn't have many points to come off, because the last season's even more catastrophic for him. He's got one last 16 this season, going down 4-2 to the same fight at the British Open, but it's been very anonymous aside from that. He'll face either Mustafa Dorgan. The Egyptian seems very capable, has one win this season, and his lasting legacy so far on tour is the English Open, where Mark Allen scored 4 centuries in a best of 7 against him. Ouch. Or retiring Fergal O'Brien. Like Dotty, Fergal's last 16 this season's at the British Open, and like Dotty, he lost 4-2 to Jack Kosowski. Fergal, hugely respected, absolute gentleman. The time's clearly right for him, though. He nearly parked in 2 years ago, but surviving Q school made him get one more go. Now, please, can we have him on commentary more? He's a fantastic commentator. And our top seed up here, Action Jackson Page, who's had a hugely impressive first ranking semi-final World Open, going down 6-2 to a Juddy monster. Having knocked in 6 tons along the way. 3 of which were in a frankly ridiculous match against Mark Selby. But it started off with a 1-3-0 break from Page, then a 1-2-9 from Selby, then a 1-2-0 from Page, then a 100 from Page, then a 93 from Page, then a 96 from Selby, then a 50 from Selby, 4 Page count scored of 74. It's maybe the most insane match I've ever seen apart from that World semi-final in 220. One but Selby wasn't involved in, by the way. That was a bit insane as well. It's a good job Jackson did across the world because he's been absolutely nothing before that. In 6 attempts, he hadn't been beyond the last 64. Jackson knows his way around world qualifying. He posted Dave Grayson to next year in 222. And Lottie lost out to the same fight in the snooker equivalent of 2 boxers just standing there and punching each other between the eyes for 12 rounds. So it's going to be hard to stop. There's not much to talk about in the bottom half. Andy Hicks is here. He's not in survival battle. He's 74 from the US rankings, 12 on 1-year list cards. And the last time he was good, genuinely good, was before I was born. Seriously. Just guess when his last ranking semi-final was, not including the shootout, since so many of you don't believe it should actually be a ranking event. Don't be hypocrites now. Someone about his last ranking semi-final. I'll give you 5 seconds. No, you're wrong. His last proper ranking semi-final was the UK Championship in 1995. For perspective, I was born in 1996. If you like, share, subscribe, and leave me a nice comment, I might tell you when my birthday is. I won't, but I might. He'll face Long Huang, who beat Ali Carter in the aforementioned Action Jackson in the Championship League, reached last 16 shootout, and the last 32 of the World Open, where he made 2 centuries against Mark Selby and promptly lost 5-2. Or he'll face a Pride Southend on C. Cindy Wilson, who reached the last 16 in both Q School events, losing to Liam Pullen from Leeds, more on him later, and Oldham's Ryan Davis, who I'm very disappointed isn't in the qualifiers. He reached the last 8 of Q Tour 5, losing 4-0 to everyone's favourite Jamaican from Northamptonshire, Roy McLeod. Yes, he is still going. He hasn't turned 53. You would expect him to reach qualifying round 3, Hicks, but who really knows? Following up on Sankam, 6th seed for qualifiers, Thailand's number 1. A rising star in the game, highlighted a good season, reaching first ranking for the Scottish Open, losing 9-5 to Guy Wilson, who apparently wasn't tired after his exploits in the show. From affectionately nicknamed Moo, no really, look it up. I've mentioned it before, by the way. Also reached the quarters at the European Masters, losing 5-2 to Barry Hawkins. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out where I'm going here. Section 12 final. Jackson Page versus Noppon Sankam. Funny much to predict this. Both very heavy scores, but there couldn't be more difference as players. Noppon's a very calm and studious player. There's almost a certain sense of serenity watching him. He isn't slow by any means. He doesn't rush shots. He's always looking around at the next few shots. But he just accumulates points very well. Meanwhile, Jackson from Mark Williams at Tep Child New School of pot first, worry about the other stuff later. Point, click, boom, reload for the next one. Both the previous meetings ended in one player being 2 down with 3 to play before winning his side. I was sat here for a good half an hour trying to work out who's going to win this section. And in the end, I decided the only fair way to work it out was, I'm not joking, online coin toss simulator. No joke, I'm tossing a coin. Head says Page, tail says Noppon. Well, heads always shreds. Section 13. Big Ben, the clock is striking, you're running out of time. That's a lyric David Bowie never used. I'm surprised as well. One half of Belgian Twin Towers, a name I just made up on the spot, is incredibly talented. He's played some blinders this season, such as turning Ahmed Ali into target practice, a 4-0 win, averaging over 117 points a frame, 2 centuries, but he's still not scraped Ahmed off his seat yet. And a 5-2 win over Sean Murphy in Wuhan. But he's also very raw and error prone. The concerning thing for Ben is that his scoring appears to have gone astray. 10 centuries we've seen isn't bad for someone ranked outside top 64. But he's scored none in 2024. He'd benefit from no-call years of facing mid-tier guys regularly. There's a big argument for a turn of a tiered system. I'm getting into that another time. I've not got time to argue about that now. Ben's pretty out of contention on the end of season rankings now. His failure to qualify for the World Open probably sealed that. Thank you, Ben Wollaston. But he's here from 1-year list cars, £6,500, best mate Uniclair in 4th. But one notable thing is David Grace is 61st on the end of season rankings currently. Is behind Ben on the 1-year list. So Ben's fate could end up being in the hands of other players still. A win would certainly go a long way for him though. He's got a relatively nice draw. Either against Rod Lawler, who's 52 years young, and is about as far away from being in contention as you can really get by divine intervention. Or Gong Chen Zi, who is 2 frames away from getting a pro card at the WSF Junior Championship. Under WSF Championship, missed for 15th block, the event's first ever 147 against Anthony Kowalski of Poland. Then comes the Siege Wei, 7th Siege for qualifiers. Last year's Crucible semi-finalist, and story of the event if some lad from Belgium hadn't beaten him gone on to win thing, he's called Luke, I don't even heard of him. Starts with a little bit of a Crucible hangover. Following Championship League, he lost 4 last 32s on the spin. Since then, though, he's improved a lot and has found up during Masters, losing 10-5 to Judge Trump. We all know what he's about, and that he has immense amounts of talent, courage, and bottle. On the flip side, we have Tian Peng Fei, a player who does things. You don't know what things. He might turn up and obliterate everyone. Or he might turn up and look confused like he's never seen a snooker table before. This season we've had more of the latter. He's another player who's had 6 last 64 appearances and somehow managed to bungle up all of them. I think you're taking back what I said about Sep Chai earlier. Tian is truly the most inconsistent player to have ever existed. He tackled promising Stan Moody, who reached last 16 Northern Ireland Open, losing 4-2 to Johan John, but needs to show more progression next term. Or Mahari Shahab, recent Q2 playoff qualifier, who's very experienced but has an absolutely dismal record at professional level. Finally, for this section, we have Wu Yize. First ranking semi-final in Wuhan for losing to Trump, who has had a name of more in this than I have in my entire life. Instantly, that was also a lovely birthday present from George. As for Chinese wonder kid Wu, turned 20 on the day of that semi-final. Of course, he also reached Crucible last season, where he got absolutely pasted by Neil Robertson. Good player, though. I like Wu Yize. Section 13 final. CJ Wei versus Wu Yize. Look, I'd love Ben to qualify, but I don't see a world in the next 2 to 3 years at least where he's beating C unless he has a really bad day. Even C on a bad day is still pretty good, though. I'm backing the more experienced player. There is a real glimpse in snooker's future. Wu is 20, C is 21. Can you imagine doing sort of have the longevity of Ronnie or Higgins or God help us, Jimmy White? I'm looking forward to talking about the invitational scorecards in 2064 and how they deserve them because they have 9 world titles between them. What's that? You want predictions? Well, excuse me for looking into the future. Section 14. Not far off now. Section 14 has lots of very good players in it. Daniel Wells is one of them. He's had a successfully good season, earning 55 grand despite not going past the last 16, bars at World Open and International Championship. He's a bit of a confidence player, and when he's confident, you know it, because when he's on form, he really gets on a roll. A bit like Michael White, considering they practice together in both Neath. He'll face a veteran campaigner from Nottingham, Michael Holt. If you want to know more about Michael and his achievements, I've made an entire video about it. Go watch it, send me presents, leave a comment, tell me how much you love me, because I need it for my fragile ego. I feed off it. Or Zing Zihao, who has shown promise but found him second half of the season. Wu Haoshan seeded 10th for qualifiers, and he's a very solid player. Always finds a way to do well at least a couple events in the season. Beijing Break Builder, not the most imaginative nickname I've ever heard. A semi-final in Wuhan, where he's 2-all with Ali Carter. 4 Ali Carter suddenly found his A game in 162. But following a very weird quarter where Ronnie O'Sullivan came within 30 points without scoring him and lost 5-1. Strange game. Don't know why I don't like snooker. Anyway, Lou reached quarters in the European Masters, losing 5-2 to Selby, and 3 over the last 16s. He's a substantial favourite for this section. Down on bottom, referee Tatiana Wollaston's husband is here. Apparently he's called Ben. Don't know him. All things being serious, Ben started to make a long climb back after long COVID did its best to absolutely destroy his career. Not just a snooker player, but as a coffee aficionado. 2016 for Leicester's number 4 of 6, ahead of Lee Heathcote and Andy Lee, who chose to represent Hong Kong, so he could be overshadowed by Marco Fu instead of being overshadowed by Selby, Ford, O'Connor, Worston, Heathcote, and goes to Willie Thorne. But big concern for Ben will be those 7 last 128 exits. He'll start campaigning against Jensen Kendrick. The Stoke Storm has been more like a gentle summer's breeze on the tour. He's never really adjusted to her level. Or Bai Lu, women's world champion and women's world under 21 champion because she decided she absolutely had to win both at the same time. Who's incredibly exciting as a talent, but being as she only debuted on women's tour around a year ago, she has a very, very long way to go in terms of experience. And then we come to Jordan Brown, the Antrim Ferrari, who appears to have started misfiring after hyped up enormously last year and the year before. And maybe the year before that. He involved in his thrilling St. Fountain International Championship against Tom Ford. He was 6-5 up before Ford made 3 centuries on the spin, eventually winning 9-6. But he's not done much outside of that. Seeing him slip back to 39th in the world. Still very reliable, good grinder, can break Bill pretty well. Good section here. No shortage of candidates to go through. Sadly, though, can only take 2. Section 14 final, Wilhelmsham versus Jordan Brown. Holtz and Wells can consider themselves very unfortunately in the same bracket as Lou here. I might well have considered one of them otherwise. Lou and Brown met over wrist distance before, with Lou winning 10-0. That was in 2019, though. Jordan is a far better player than he was 5 years ago. This could go either way, but I'm backing the Beijing break builders to battle bravely beyond Brown. So I know it's basic, but I think ran out of B words. Apart from Brandy Snap, which I'm sure is lovely, but I don't think it really fits in a conversation about snooker. Although the Championship League chairs do look like you're beating Brandy Snap in them. I'm getting distracted again, aren't I? Section 15. The ultimate section now. Are you bored of hearing about Survival Battle yet? Too bad! We have 2 players here who are absolutely critical right now to it. Sanson Lamb, proving that pandas are indeed native to West Yorkshire, no matter what so-called experts like Richard Attenborough's brother David says. You don't know who Richard Attenborough is, by the way. I'm the biggest film buff you know, and bring a really interesting book or podcast review while they go on with themselves for a few hours. I recommend this one podcast on YouTube and Spotify called V-Racked. I hear the main presenter is a real hottie. Also, if you don't listen to it, I will have Catherine arrested. She does work for police. I mean it, I will. What's I'm supposed to be talking about Samson Lamb. Fine. He deserves to stay on tour. He's had a really good season. Finally showing me he truly belongs on tour, having been a little more cannon fodder before. Made ways in reaching quarterfinals of the Scottish Open, going down 5-3 in Valiant Everton up on Sandcam, and found himself 62 on the EOS rankings. Could he drop off though? He's all but certain to stay on the 1 year list, being £20,500 ahead of 5th place Ben Mertens in that list, meaning Ben would have to reach the last 16 to overtake him. And in that case, Ben would probably be in the top 64 anyway. This panda is linked to bamboozles another day. No, don't know much about pandas. Do I look like I go outside? I stay indoors all day, working on YouTube videos and blogs and winning random groups on Twitter. He'll face one of two players in the second qualifying round. I'll cover Anton Kazakov first. 4 words, 2 years, 3 wins. Enough? I trust 5. The other player is much more interesting, because it's Liam Pullen, who is Santalam's regular practice partner up at Northern Snooker Centre up in Leeds. Liam, who, if you listen to his accent, is very, very Yorkshire. Although he's not actually a Leeds native, he and Ashley Healy are the two New York natives on the tour. Has had a promising first season, as the 18-year-olds reached 2 last 32s, and has not looked overawed in the slightest as someone who's been alive less time than I've been watching snooker. Not by a huge amount, only by a year or two, but he last faced Kazakov back in the Championship League and beat him 3-1 breaks of 79 and 94. But a bigger challenge comes after, because Zhao Guodong is... Look, I know everyone thinks Zhao's fantastic, but I just don't get it. Classic Glory's top 32 play for me, and we look at that, he's 34th currently. He does enough to maintain a solid position, no threat in the top tier, solid, never puts in garbage performance, but the top players have what I call psycho mode. When they need to, they can turn on the style and take game away from relentless pressure. Zhao does not have that. He'll still get through here though, probably. On the other half, someone who's even more integral to a survival battle. We're splitting the holder of the precious 64th spot on the US rankings, David Lilley. Man from Washington near Sunderland, that is, not Washington near Canada, holds that most precarious and precious of precipices, and yeah, I've done the illustration thing already, haven't I? But it's a very delicate position. 2.5 grand above Julian Clare, 65th. Might as well be nothing. And on 1 year list, he couldn't have the second card, but he's only £500 ahead of third place Zach Shorty there. 9.5 grand ahead of Ben Mertens, 5th on that list. Slightly unfortunate 10,000 stake for a win for any of them. Who's David, though? Quick busted reference for all you millennials. Love busted me. Lily's never quite had enough space for the top 64, despite always being thereabouts, but he's got a great chance this season. The last 16 World Open's his best ranking finish since the Indian Open in July 2016, and he showed more resistance to Judley Trumpington than most players have brought to this season, losing 5-3 despite a break 124. Also, I think that's the last time I have to mention judging this video, which means that you'll no longer have to put up me making up silly names for him. He's going to start against the Pengi Song, who's earned slightly more this season despite being less impressive, but was nowhere known either despite that. On managed to win Vessel Michael, I'm so sorry I can't pronounce his surname, I don't speak Thai, who's won 2 matches and shown some level of, I was going to say potential, but it's more competence. I think that's more like it. Then come to a qualifiers 15th seed, Dave Gilbert. The owner of a beautiful pet man cave, really is his own worst enemy. Let's be real, he shouldn't be 31st in the world. He should by rights be in the top 16, at least. The only reason he isn't is because of David Gilbert. For one reason or another, he doesn't see himself as a great player. As long as he does not believe he belongs at the top of the game, he won't be at the top of the game. And under no circumstance do I have a grudge against him, because his absolutely gutless performance at the Crucible last season, if he just lost his qualifier, I could have seen Matthew's team at Crucible, and life would have been complete. Thank you, Dave. What about his season? But I'm busy ranting. Final rant afterwards. Reached last stage at the Northern Ireland Open, beating Matthew just to rub my nose in it. Let's not start again. Fully inside against Barry Hawkins. Also last 16 in the British Open, losing inside 68-59 to Mark Selby, and by 16 the European Masters 5-1 to Lil Shan. Since late October, he's not been beyond the last 32 of any event. Anyways, prediction time. Section 15 final. Well done versus Dave Gilbert. Dave comes to begin a much easier draw, to be fair. This is a classic match will be endlessly hyped up with name value, but ultimately will be absolutely fine, mediocre. So that's hard to predict. It feels like they should both win. I'm going to go with Gilbert just because I want to make sure people think I'm being overly mean to him. I'm not being too mean. He needs someone to say these things to him. Maybe not the Stevens bit, but the rest of it. He's absolutely wasting his potential, and his best years won't last forever. Dave, you're throwing away from World Final 5 years ago. You've not suddenly become a bad player. Hopefully, he gets to a crucial this time, he can play like he can. Section 16. The final frontier. The end of the storm. I'll start off with a player I talk glowingly about regularly, Scott Donaldson, who's had a bad season. We know what happens to him with his Tremors at World Qualifiers last season. I have tremendous sympathy for him. He's done well to bounce back, but his season's not been that good. He reached last 16 British Open, losing 4-1 to Tom Ford, but other than that, his best finish was last 48 of the UK Championship, where he eased past Rory Thorne and Sam Craigie, but losing an incredibly weird match 6-4 to Hossein Vafai. Good news, Scotty's 53rd in the US rankings is likely too high to be a real peril. He'll either face Mahdi Ibrahim, who has played 15 matches this season and lost 8 of them to nil, or Peter Lyons, 54 years young, after a solid season on Q4, where he reached the semis of Event 3, beating everyone's favourite snooker rapper, Peter Devlin MC, 4 losing to Umut Dikme, and I hope you know how rude it is that you're laughing at someone's surname. It's not like he can help it. Oh yeah, he beat Mr. Dikme in the final Event 7 as well, but fell early in the playoffs. And if you're laughing at the name Dikme again, you should be ashamed of yourself. I will never do such a thing. Joe Pay's a fantastic commentator, one of the absolute best. I just wanted everyone to know that because that's the most positive thing you can say about him. His season's been real Anna Cerebrus, not helped by being hammed injured at the start of the season. Reached last 16 9-round open, putting through throws and Mike Wise and same fight, making 1-4-5 against the former, and finishing last off the back-to-back page 122, both scoring a third side against Steve Maguire. Joe is hugely experienced, always dangerous, and 47th is an incredibly low ranking for him. I'm confident we'll see him Judgment Day once more. On bottom half, John Astley is the best player than results suggest. 4 wins this season, sadly. It feels like he can't quite make the next step up in his career to be top 64 regular. It's not like he's not capable either, just for whatever reason, he's never quite found the momentum or the wind to do it. He'll face Liam Graham, who's looked good on occasion but hasn't made a huge impact. They found being one few players who actually wants to face Ronnie when he's draw against him. Or Ash Carty, who's been excellent in his turns this far, reaching the European Masters quarters, going down 5-1 to Judd Trump. Ashley's a great player to watch. It'd be nice if the local boy could reach Crucible again. I know he's from Rotherham, not Sheffield, but they're close enough. Catherine, if you're watching this, are they close enough? Please tell me. Then we come to a qualifier second seed, Ryan Dynamite Day. Ryan's a funny player because he's incredibly dangerously playing well. Incredible to watch as well. He just never made most of his talents and skill. He was world number 8 once. Think about it, he was world number 8. He's the 8th best player in the world. He's never been past the quarterfinals of the World Championship. He never truly established himself as a huge deal. Great to watch, though. Just piles on points so quickly without looking like he's even rushing. Just point and click snooker. Also reached quarterfinals of the German Masters, going down 5-1 to CJW. He's also got what states come through Judgment Day as doing before, so on to a prediction. Section 16 final, Joe Perry versus Ryan Day. God, what a match this is. If Joe and Ryan's house are reversed, I might consider Carty from the gauntlet to Judgment Day, but don't think he's going to beat Day. Ryan Day lasted, not Judgment Day. Very confusing. As for this match, I think I'm backing Ryan. Joe will push him hard. Joe Perry always pushes you hard. He tests your all-round game. I'll be back with a bang next season, I have no doubt. But I just don't see Ryan going down this solid season. Hopefully he can make a big push of Cruz and win a match for the first time since 2014. So those are my thoughts. I appreciate you immensely if you got to this far into a video. As I said before, like, share, subscribe. Appease algorithms for YouTube God. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.